Hello and welcome back, YouTube. So it is 5:29 p.m. Felt like it was about 5:30. That's about 5:30. Still Saturday night. Sun is going down. Always a lot nicer to drive when I don't have to deal with the glare of the sun. I forget the exact address of where I'm going, which is fine. I'm not sharing that information with you people anyway, but it's important that I know where I'm headed. I told Priscilla I was going to bring her a set of Allen wrenches. I'm sure she'll understand when I tell her that I had some issues with the computer and just simply didn't have time to get those to her. And I'm going to make sure I get those to her tonight, so not too terribly worried about that. Oh, gosh. Debating what the best way is to get to where I'm headed, and this probably ain't it. In fact, this definitely ain't it. I'm going north, so of course the cab driver in my head, which is typically on autopilot, said, "Oh, go north." But I'm going far enough north and east of Loop 101 to the point where it's just on a... Why are you beeping, car? That on a Saturday evening, it's more efficient for me to do a little backtracking and take the 202 to the 101. Now, if this was a weekday during traffic hours, it would make more sense for me to go north and do surface streets towards the 101. But right now, there should be no traffic to speak of on the 202 getting to the 101, and I should be able to go a lot faster speed. Plus, that's a lot better for my car. My car really only runs nice on freeways these days. Yikes, I just looked to the right and got the sun right in my face. Where that neighbor has his Lincoln Navigator parked, I feel like he's just trying to get another insurance settlement. That property that's directly north of this stretch of 46th Street has so many cars every year, and I've lived here going on 7 years. Every year has so many cars plow straight through the intersection. Just I don't understand why people are even driving that fast on 46th Street. But people will be going north on 46th Street and somehow don't notice that the road turns and plow right through his fence or into whatever vehicle he has parked where he's got that Lincoln right now. I'm convinced that that's a significant source of income from him, for the owner of that property there. That they get several insurance checks a year from the people that plow into their property because they can't be bothered to pay attention to their driving and feel the need to go faster than 25 miles per hour on a residential street. I almost made the mistake of turning right now because I'm, again, like, driving for me is so autopilot more often than not, and coming this way it's just like, oh, let's get on the freeway. But yeah, going south on the 143 from here, there's no way to get onto the 202. I was going to say onto the eastbound 202, but you can't go any direction on the 202 from this entrance to the 143. And maybe what I should have done is when I got to Oak, I should have hung a left and then taken 44th Street south. But 44th Street between Oak and the 202 lately has been really hit or miss on getting stuck in traffic. Not that I'm not stuck in traffic right now, but you know, I'm trying to take the best route. So I did resolve the mouse situation. I didn't try to repair my mouse. I just didn't have enough time to mess with that. I do want to repair that mouse. That mouse I really like, and by repair, I just mean take it apart and clean all the contacts in the buttons, because otherwise that mouse works perfectly. It's just, and the right button's working fine. It's just the left button is so weird and intermittent that it makes the computer not function. What little bit of work I was trying to do on my files today took significantly longer than it should have and was more problematic than it should have been. Just due to the fact that I was having... the computer wasn't doing what I was wanting it to do because of the mouse. And there's things shuffling around. I really should have went straight to 52nd Street, not right on 48th. My focus is not really good on my driving right now, just saying. I mean, not on my driving as far as like not safe driving, but on my navigation. That's what I should say. Actually, this is working out all right. It really would have been best for me to take 44th Street and get on the freeway that way. So rare that I leave out that way, or to a destination. But hey, I'm glad I went this way because it reminded me of something that happened yesterday that I haven't mentioned yet in my vlog. So it was kind of in this general area that, and we have to go back to like June, maybe early July. Might have even been last May. But I was regularly mentioning a homeless woman named Natalie that I had met and was really connecting with and was trying to help out, but I was very leery to take her home just for fear of what other riffraff might follow her, and also knowing that she had drug addiction issues. Wow, looks like somebody smashed into that car right there where it's parked. So, since she last relocated her little campsite, I haven't been able to find her. And I've talked to some people, some homeless people in this general area that seem to know who she is, and I tried said they tried to pass a message to her, that I was looking for her. And I've tried to message her on the phone number that I had, which was through an app, but at this point I'm pretty confident that she's lost access to that. That happens. Hell, I lost access to the last app that I had that was usable that way. I've been off of it for quite some time. More encampments on the right there. Speaking of homeless encampments, when I was riding around with Michelle yesterday, she told me that she had gone down near Cash Shelter, so around the zone, trying to see if she could find a tent giving away Obama phones there. Oh, did y'all see that on the right? The old Circle K building is 100% completely gone, and they're starting to lay down the dirt work and the ground utility work for the new Circle K that's going to be built there. And I've said that was going to happen for years, because I noticed a long time ago all the properties to the west of the Circle K getting bought up and cleared up, and I noticed when they put a property sign there that said no trespassing property of Circle K. So it was just a matter of time until Circle K felt that it was worthwhile to demo the old store and build a newer, bigger store. So glad that's underway. Kind of sucks that there's not a Circle K store there right now, but I'm looking forward to their new store. Well, not used to such aggressive driving from a person in a Prius. Not that the Priuses aren't capable of it, it's just for some reason people who drive Priuses don't drive like that. As opposed to, say, people who drive Dodges that seem to always feel the need to drive like that. So yeah, new Circle K on the way on the corner of 52nd Street, Van Buren. Old Circle K building completely demolished. It's been closed for a while. I just haven't mentioned it because I don't go through that intersection as much as I used to. But I've gone through it. I've noticed it. I think every time I've gone by, I've either been talking about something else or just haven't been vlogging. So back to Natalie. Well, actually back to the zone and homeless encampments. Yeah, I'm on that many tangents already. Welcome to my vlog. It's been a while. I want to say 2 weeks since I've gone through the zone. I last went through it with my friend Corey after we came back from Flagstaff, when we took the trip up to Four Corners to see the eclipse. And we were talking about it coming back. He watches my vlog fairly regularly. I don't think he's able to watch all of it. I mean, at this point, I'm only able to watch all of it because I'm making a point to do it. But probably one of the biggest time wasters that I do right now. But I'm just trying to keep it edited nicer, and that's the only way to do it. And I'm trying to be a little more particular about certain things that I say that maybe I shouldn't be putting out, and either not publishing that or not editing it. Although for the most part, it all goes up. It is what it is. So, there's a building off to the right in Tempe that has some really cool looking, what looks to be blue neon on it that I'm not used to seeing there. I hardly ever go this direction anymore. So every time I do go here, there's enough that has changed that I'm always a little bewildered as I look off to the side of the freeway and see new structures and changes. So Corey and I went through the zone. We were talking about some stuff that I'd been mentioning on the zone, and he knows that I kind of keep up on that. So he had asked me what the latest was on the zone. And of course, him watching my vlog, he's 2 months behind like everybody else. And so I gave him the updates about how they've got a hard deadline from the Maricopa County Superior Court in the case that involves all the property owners, including the owner of Old Station Subs, and how it's very close. It's coming up, gosh, it's probably 2 weeks away, a week and a half away. And how I didn't think there was any way they were going to be able to make it because there was just so many people still down there. And I talked him into taking a drive through there as he was on his way to drop me off at home. Not last Sunday, but it was the Sunday before last. And that's the last time I saw the zone, so about 2 weeks ago. Michelle said, this is more traffic than I expected to see right here. What the hell? It's a lot more traffic than I expected to see right here. It's always a little dicey for me driving in traffic like this when I have my karaoke equipment because I don't have everything really secured, and trying not to have to jam on the brakes and launch any equipment around the car. I am not in the lane I should be in. This is the lane I should be in. It seems to be a lot less. The traffic has increased so much just in the last year that places that never used to be an issue with traffic on a given day of the week or time are. And it's frustrating. And I don't think the war on cars is the solution, but I don't really know to say what is. So Michelle was saying that a lot of what was the zone has been cleaned up, and that she wasn't able to find a Obama phone tent as a result. I haven't been down there since. I really do want to go there in the near future to see what the progress is like. And look up when that date is that it has to be done by. Oh, looks like there's construction going to the south here on the 101. Yeah, that'll cause a traffic issue. Hopefully they're adding one more lane. I know that's such a meme and cliche amongst the anti-car crowd, but I've kind of mapped it out in my head as to where adding 1 to 2 more lanes between here and the 60 would solve some congestion issues. I really wish I did that for a living, even if it was just in the capacity of a part-time consultant, throwing ideas out. So yeah, I need to go to the zone, see how much progress has happened, and definitely need to try to connect Michelle with that woman, with the guy that had the Obama phone tent there on 32nd Street at Roosevelt. So back to Natalie. If you're able to follow all these subjects I'm bouncing on, thank you. back to Natalie. When I went into Walmart there in Thomas with Michelle, she was wanting to get super glue, but then we were both so overwhelmed by how big that store was that neither of us really knew where to find the super glue, and that just store is so obnoxiously huge that we just wanted to get the hell out of there with the food that she had picked out for herself, and mostly food that I had picked out that she was kind of using as a way to pay me back for spotting her the money to get her bus pass and driving her around. But as we were walking in, I saw Natalie, and I recognized her instantly, but I couldn't remember her name. And the only thing I could think of to say was, "Hey," at which point she kind of looked at me and said, "Hey," and then turned her head and kept walking. And then, I don't know where the hell it came from. Sometimes I say the most ridiculous things in the moment. I said, "Oh, okay, fine. Just walk by me like I don't matter now." And she did. Now, granted, she hasn't seen me in a long time, and let's not forget, she's got drug issues. But I could not remember her name at all. And I was not trying to take away from what I was trying to do with helping Michelle, or get any wrong ideas in Michelle's head about what my relationship is with Natalie. But the main thing is I just couldn't remember her name. My God, if I could have remembered her name in that moment, I could have called out her name, and I think me saying her name would have been enough for her to be like, "Oh, this is somebody who knows me, that I should talk to," not be afraid of and try to get past as quickly as possible. But yeah, I didn't remember her name until after Michelle and I were well into the grocery area, and I told her, it's like, I know her. And I told Michelle about how when I didn't have a car and I was walking a lot, that she had complimented me from her little shopping cart tent structure, and then given me some clothes, and then after that I tried to help her out a few times by bringing her food and beverages, and the last time I saw her I gave her detergent, but then I hadn't seen her in several months and I was kind of worried about her. She's a very nice person, and I didn't turn around and try to find Natalie. I was kind of focused on what I was doing with Michelle, but at least I know Natalie is alive and well, and at some point wanders into the Walmart on Thomas, where Tower Plaza used to be. So I do think my computer is ready for this show. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't try to repair the mouse, but I didn't throw it away either, because I'm sure I can get that mouse back to working like it's supposed to. And it's old and beat up, and I mean, wired optical USB mice are $1 a pop, generally speaking, when I go to Ghettotronics. But I like to keep the ones that I have still working, and I like to keep ones that I'm really comfortable with still working even more, and that one I'm really comfortable with. The first one I plugged in seemed to have some kind of issue. I probably can't fix it. I was thinking there was maybe something wrong with my front USB bus, but it didn't matter which USB hole I plugged it into. The red laser light on the underside would light up red, and then within a few seconds it would go dim and go dark. It's probably not fixable. I should probably just throw the damn thing away, but I like to recycle and reuse all electronics and repair when I can. So yeah, not like me to throw out a mouse, even a broken mouse. I didn't even have time to tag it with what its issue is, so it's sitting on the coffee table waiting for me to tag it with what its issue is. Went searching through my suitcase that I keep my karaoke system in, found another one. I do always try to keep a spare in there, just in case, that's tested, that I know works. So seeing that, good reason to believe at some point I tested it and it worked. Doesn't mean it still works now, so of course I plugged it in. And while it did work, the DPI of how mice track vary greatly from mouse to mouse to mouse. And on the settings that I had for the mouse that I've been using for years and I was super comfortable with, it did not have a good feel. Like just moving the mouse a little bit, moved the cursor way too far. And it took me a bit to remember how to get into the settings and adjust that in Windows 7. And then on top of that, when I was trying to do it, that module crashed. I've got a lot of things crashing in Windows 7 now. And I think there are two issues that are causing that. One, the fact that Windows 7 is just simply so outdated. And it's not that Windows 7 on that machine is outdated, but there are certain programs that I'm still running that have to stay current. Like, it's real easy to say, oh, we'll just run old software, you'll be fine. And if I just run old software on that machine, I will be fine. But YouTube is still a big part of what I do on that computer. YouTube isn't stopping for backwards compatibility. If anything, they're moving at a faster pace now that obsoletes old software and old equipment. So that's something I need to address if I'm going to continue to do karaoke shows and want to have the ability to download things as needed on the fly, which I may need to do today. Yeah, when I have whatever version of Chrome I'm still running, which is giving me pop-ups and telling me, hey, you need to update your Windows, and I feel like that's already come and gone with Firefox. The versions that are on there still work, and they do still work in YouTube, but I can tell that using YouTube in them takes way more of my system resources than it used to in terms of percentage and what it leaves for other stuff, and that the machine itself is struggling with it. So anything else that used to run just perfectly fine in the background, yeah, not so much anymore. And that machine has been struggling to run my Wondershare All My Tube YouTube downloader for years. So yeah, it was just really struggling, to the point that just adjusting my mouse settings while I had some other processes going on caused that control panel to lock up and freeze. Anyway, I got that all resolved now. I kind of had to close some windows. I'm hoping that I can get through tonight and not have to download anything from anyone, but the odds of that are probably not so good. So hopefully it doesn't create too much of a problem. If it does, I expect these people will be understanding. They've been really friendly and supportive of me. So I'm sure I'll be fine. But yeah, going forward with my karaoke, I really need to quit neglecting that machine. And it's not even an issue now of just neglecting keeping my music up to date. I need to get my software up to date. At some point, I need to build a new version of my karaoke machine and either make some dramatic changes so that it will continue to work under Windows 7, or begrudgingly update to Windows 10. Because it's problematic right now. I'll get through tonight though. I'm confident of that. And that's going to give me the income I need to cover all my bills and go forward with my life. Well, except for, of course, insurance in the car, but that's a bigger problem. Guy in the left lane turned right on red, and guy in the right lane just sat there. Anyway, I'm feeling good about everything heading in. I'm pretty sure I have all the cabling I need. Did I go through it all? No. But I'm pretty sure I have all the cabling that I need and everything I need with me to make this happen. Or do I? Oh shit. It suddenly occurred to me that I did not check to make sure I have all my XLR cables, and I might not. Oh, that's going to be a big problem. God, I've had all week to get this shit ready, and I haven't. All right, I don't have all the XLR cables I should have. There were some that were taken out. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but the ones that I had left at Royale Lounge that ran from, like, I had them running behind and underneath stuff, from the front of the bar to the back corner of the bar near the restroom entrance where I had set up both weeks. I left it there, and I completely forgot I left it there until like 5-6 weeks later. Why isn't this guy going? I guess there's not really big gaps in traffic, but damn, it's usually not that hard to just get back onto Shea. Okay, there's your gap, dude. There's your gap. All you need is one lane of space and it's there. Go, dude. Quit hitting the pipe and go. Oh, see, that's the problem. He was trying to turn right and cross every lane of traffic to get into the left lane. And I guess that's not an illegal maneuver, but it was certainly causing me to have to wait a long time just to turn right. A few weeks ago, Tim and Kimmy, who regularly do the karaoke over at Wander Inn, there was some kind of party going on at Wander Inn that they didn't want karaoke there, so the manager had them do that night over at Royale Lounge. And Priscilla went there. She wanted me to go with her. I think the reason I didn't go is that's the night that I was supposed to work at Factor, and then I ended up not going to Factor either because I got an intensely bad fever. I had like a 102-degree fever that weekend. Anyway, she grabbed that cord for me, and it had been sitting there all those months, but I forgot to put it back in the car into my karaoke stuff, so it's sitting in my kitchen. Yeah, I don't have time to go back there all the way home and get that and come out. But I do have the bag that usually has my XLR cables and stuff in it. There are some XLR cables in it, and that plus the XLR cables that are in my karaoke suitcase and in my my microphone case, I should have enough to pull this place off. I might have to put the speakers a little closer together than I normally do, but I don't see that being a problem. Worst case scenario at this point, I do not have time to go home and get any of my cables, but I do believe Walmart sells XLR cables now pretty regularly. At least they did the last time I went there. They had super reasonable prices. So if it's absolutely necessary, I might do a run to Walmart. And there is a Walmart fairly close to here. Over near the bar I used to work at. Well, it's like between Raintree and Frank Lloyd Wright on the other side of the 101. I think I'm on the next left. Gosh, it's been so long since I've come up. Actually, I haven't been this way since their last party, which was last December. North 104th Street. Oh, yeah. I think I wanted to go up 100th Street, so I overshot where I'm going. And there's another truck with no headlights on. I don't know what it is with Phoenix drivers not liking to use their headlights these days, but it's a real issue. While I was riding with Priscilla yesterday, going over to Carl's Jr., you saw somebody with no headlights on. And I mean, you could barely see the vehicle. It was a dark vehicle on a dark road, no headlights. Well, I need to wrap this up because I need to pull over and make sure I'm in the right spot. And unfortunately, the street that I'm on has bike lanes and no place to park. Sometimes you just need on-street parking so you can stop and look at your mobile devices and see exactly where you're going.